On your desk, you should have shapes and a grid. We're going to play a game now with shapes and colors. When we're done, we'll all have formed a secret picture. Make sure you listen to my instructions or your picture won't look like it's supposed to. Are we doing art? No, Freddie. Art class was yesterday. Here we go. I'm only saying the directions once, so don't ask me to repeat them. Listen carefully. Ready? Everyone take the yellow triangle and put it on the yellow circle in the grid.
I don't have a yellow triangle.
Is that yours on the floor? Now find the green square. It belongs on the red square. Look at the blue triangle on the grid. Put the green circle on it.
Which circle?
Don't put the red square on the yellow triangle.
But I already used the yellow
blue
triangle.
Arthur, put the green triangle on the red
Couldn't
circle.
swim, and Mrs. Smith had
Put
to
the
go
blue
in and
square
save
on the
them,
shape
and I
of
think
the
the
left
kids are going to get
with the yellow
cells.
triangle.
Arthur had to go to the nurse's office.
Hey, everyone needs to settle down and pay attention, or no one's going to get this right.
Who cares?
Cover the green
my
square with
shapes
the
and
red
colors.
circle. Put the blue triangle on the spot below the green square you can see. Put the red triangle over the yellow shape.
Is that a trick question?
Put the yellow circle on the last empty space. Is everyone done? Flip your cards over. Does yours look like this?
I chose ADHD as my topic because it is the most common disorder among children that is oftentimes misdiagnosed or undiagnosed, and I feel that as future educators it is important for us to know about ADHD. I think many people know of ADHD but not really about it, and probably not much more than the fact that kids with ADHD can be prescribed medication to help them focus and do well in school, when really there's so much more to the disorder. Also, I have several friends with ADHD, and so I kind of have an idea of what ADHD is like from a child's perspective, and so I wanted to learn more about ADHD from, teachers or parents' point of view. ADHD is a mental disorder that is commonly found in children which causes trouble concentrating, paying attention, staying organized, and remembering details. ADHD can be very difficult to diagnose. Oftentimes, the kids with untreated ADHD are mislabeled as troublemakers. Boys' symptoms are more external and include impulsivity, hyperactivity, lack of focus, and physical aggression. Girls' symptoms are more internal and include being withdrawn, low self-esteem, intellectual impairment, inattentiveness, and verbal aggression. Here are the statistics. 6.4 million children have ADHD. 6.1% are treated for ADHD with medication. 31% of college students use ADHD medication for non-medical reasons. Boys are 3 times more likely to have ADHD than girls. 40% of children with ADHD have at least one parent with ADHD. 35% of teens with ADHD eventually drop out of school. Indiana is one of the top 5 states with the highest rate of ADHD. There are various types of medication to treat ADHD. However, medication is not required for children who have ADHD. There are many side effects to ADHD medication, such as weight loss, loss of sleep, loss of appetite, irritability, skin irritation, anxiety, fatigue, and many more. Here's an interview with a mother whose daughter has ADHD but does not take any medication.
In the first grade, second grade, I found that she really struggled with sitting down and getting schoolwork done. And I mean, she would sit there until she went to sleep before she would finish it. And I asked teachers at school if they had any concerns or if they saw anything that was difficult, because I suspected there could be some, learning difficulties. And I was told, no, there's no problem. And I could see that my older child didn't have those struggles at all. It wasn't until I actually had my third child, and that child started into around preschool, kindergarten, first, second grade, and I realized then that as a parent, the things that I was seeing in my daughter, in the way of her struggles academically, were unique to her, that I did not see in either of my other 2 children. And around about 5th grade, I really could see that schoolwork and sitting down and comprehending and taking in information really was a struggle, that she just had to work far more than either of my other 2 children. So the side effects, I think, could sometimes even be worse than, the actual issues of the disorder. And so we chose not to use medication, even though several times, along the way, we were pressured to use medication. We still chose not to. I do not regret the decision of not using medication. The side effects of those types of medication um, are still too severe and too harsh, and are far worse than the actual struggle. First and foremost is to have as much knowledge as you can. The more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to support your child. Also, ask them to do work in small increments, and give them a break between getting things done. Keep expectations realistic. It in no way means that uh, your expectations for that child have to be less than your expectations for any other child.
I got to ask her daughter how she felt about not taking medication for her ADHD. Every day I feel differently about not being given medication. Most days I'm glad that I don't need medication in order to get by, but then there are those days when I just can't focus or I'm really struggling, and I just wish that my parents would have put me on medication because everything would have been easier. But I guess overall I'm glad that I don't take medication and can still accomplish and succeed in all that I do. I feel that the fact that I don't take medication for my ADHD would have still accomplished just as much, if not more, than other students who don't have ADHD is motivation in itself. It's been a process, but I think I've managed pretty well and have definitely overcome a lot. Teaching strategies for the classroom. Use a homework folder to communicate with the parents. Provide instructions visually as well as audibly. Model what you want students to do. Use positive reinforcement. Be sensitive to self-esteem. Be patient. Communicate with the child and come up with ways to know how he or she is feeling during class. Reduce the amount of distractions in the classroom as much as possible. These are some children's books about ADHD and how to cope. The Survival Guide for Kids with ADD or ADHD by John F. Taylor. Corey Stories, a kid's book about living with ADHD by Jeanne Krause. Shelley the Hyperactive Turtle by Deborah M. Moss. ADHD, A Child's Perspective on ADHD by Dr. Trish Wood. It's Hard to Be a Verb by Julia Cook. Living with ADHD is like walking up a down escalator. You can get there eventually, but the journey is exhausting. Kathleen Ellie.